We're going live. Welcome to Mommy Academy.
With
I'm so glad that you are here with us today. We're going to be talking about how to play the game of chess. And it is such a fun game to play. I love the game of chess. And Tankie has just been so intrigued by it. He was introduced not too long ago to this game. How did you first learn about chess?
Oh, Kadisha taught me about it.
That's right. She showed you on a little phone app kind of how the game works, and he's just really wanted to play ever since. So we're going to tell Tankie about how the game works, how you win the game, what's the most important thing in playing board games, and what each piece does. So hang in there. Let's learn how to play some chess. Now, first thing I want to talk about is what a chessboard looks like. Now, we have a cool glass chessboard here, and there's all different kinds of chessboards, but they're all going to have similar characteristics. So here we have a clear and an opaque glass pieces, and you can see here that there are these checkers on the board. We have also clear and opaque checkers, but all chessboards will have something like this, where you have a pattern going across the chessboard. But your chessboard might be more traditional, where you have what we would consider black and white pieces. Okay, these ones, of course, are more tan or brown, but this would resemble a white. You see the white pieces? Those are cool, aren't they? Yeah. Okay, now there's some other things that we want to talk about is what each piece is called and how you set it up. Now, first of all, we have these pawns that go on the front. Can you say pawn and show us a pawn?
Pawn's right up here.
That's right.
Let's see if you guys can see them for your camera. I will see them for camera.
Okay, so these here are going to be your shorter pieces. All right, they're going to look something like this. These are our pawns. How many pawns do we have in the front? Let's count. This guy goes right here. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're going to have 16 pieces total, and 8 of them are going to be pawns. Now, in the middle, your biggest pieces usually in your chess set are the king and the queen.
Yep. The important one is the king, not the queen.
Well, the queen is important too, but
the
king is most important for a very important reason. Do you know why?
No.
Okay, we'll get into that in just a minute. So we have the king and the queen in the center on the last row in your chess. So closest to you, you're going to have king and queen in the center. Now on the outsides, you're going to have the same kind of piece, and they're probably going to have either a flat top.
A flat top or a castle top.
Exactly. Or a castle top like these. And these are called rooks. Can you say rooks?
Rooks.
There you go. Good job. And then the next one in from the rooks usually have some kind of pointy top. And these ones are going to be called your bishops.
Bishops coming right up.
Very good. Very good.
Oh, we're after.
Okay, there's the bishops in black and white. And then in from the bishops, we're going to have these really cool looking pieces because they look like horses. Do you know what these ones are called, Tankie?
Oh, the knights.
That's right.
Good up.
Very good. And each one of these pieces, the rook, the bishop, and the knight, all have different moves. Same with the king, queen, and pawn. Okay, so we're going to go over each one of those. So just one more time, the pawns go in the front on the second row. The rest of the pieces go on the last row closest to you. And you go rooks, bishops, knights, and king and queen. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the pawns and do one piece at a time. But before we do that, let's talk about how to win this game. Do you know how to win the game of chess?
Oh. Have fun.
That's a great answer. Give me a high five. And the reason why is because if you're not having fun, then you're definitely losing. Playing a board game is about doing your best, but also having fun. That is called good sportsmanship.
Good sportsmanship, guys.
Good. And whether you win or you lose, you say good game.
Yep.
Good game. It was all for fun. Good job. Okay. Now, back to how you actually win the game, though, besides just having fun, it is to capture the other person's king. Okay? Whoever captures the other person's king first wins.
Well, the mama's gonna capture my pawn.
And so you want to get their king, and you also want to protect your king. That is the main object of the game. But let's go over each piece and what they do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all the pieces off on the last row, keep our pawns on, and talk about some rules of pawns. Very good. So again, your pawns might look black and white like this. Now, here are the three major basic rules of pawns. Number one is a pawn can only move one space at a time, except for the first move. Okay, the first move they can move two. Number two, pawns cannot capture each other unless they are going diagonal. And number three, pawns cannot go backwards. Okay? So those are the three rules of pawns. So let's say I move my pawn on the first move 2 forward, and Tankie moves his pawn on the first move 2 forward. Right here? Good. Can we capture each other?
Nope, we're up toe-to-toe.
That's right. You cannot capture pawns when they are facing each other. Now, if I was to move my next pawn 2 up, now you can see here, it's on a diagonal from Tankie's pawn. We are both on the opaque. We are on the same color on the checker squares. Can Tankie now take my pawn?
Yeah.
That's right. Go ahead. Show him how it's done. And as he takes my piece, his piece moves in its place. Okay? Very good. Now, if Tankie moves a pawn right here, 2 forward, move this guy 2 forward. That's his turn. Now it's my turn. Now we have 2 pawns that are on the clear glass. We are 2 pawns that are on the same color checker. I can move diagonally and capture his piece, and my piece moves into its place. Okay, so let's show them a few more. Ready? So the first move can be 2. Go ahead. Oh, it has to be straight though, no diagonal. So here's the piece, needs to go straight. And the only time it goes diagonal is when it's taking another piece. Go ahead, take my piece. And then put your piece where my piece was. Right here. There you go. Now, let's see here. Here's my piece. I can move 1 forward. Your piece can move 1 forward from there. Oh, that's backward. So it has to move forward, straight forward. Okay, it cannot go to the side unless it's capturing a piece. 1 forward. Show me 1 forward. That's right, very good. And another 1 forward. Go ahead, 1 more. Can you go 1 forward?
1 forward.
Okay, the first move can be 2 forward, and then after that it's 1. Good job. Okay, so you can only move the pawn 1 step per move. So let's try this again. Let's move 1 forward. 1 forward. That's 2 forward. That's 1 forward. Good. 1 forward. 1 forward. 1 forward. Can you move this guy 1 forward?
1 forward.
There you go. Very good. All the way to the end. High five. So that's the basics of the pawn. Let's go over the 3 rules again. Pawns can only move 1 space forward at a time, except for the first move, where they can move 2 spaces. The first move only. Number 2, pawns can only capture diagonally. Number 3, pawns cannot go backward. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's go ahead and take our pawns off the board.
Okay. Then that will be like on different piece tie off.
Okay. Now the only piece we're going to put on the board now are our rooks. Okay. So the guys with the flat or the castle top are the rooks. So you might have a rook that looks like this. Okay. So here's your rook and here's your rook. Good, good. Now the cool thing about the rooks is that they can go forward and backward. They can also go as many spaces as they need to until they hit another piece. Okay, now here's the major rule of a rook. They can only go in a straight line. They cannot go diagonally. Tankie? So are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you some questions. Can a rook go diagonally?
No.
No. Can only go what?
Back and forth.
And sideways, as long as it's
sideways.
a straight line. Okay? So why don't you go ahead and grab a rook and show me what forward and backward looks like. Now, can they only go 1 or 2 spaces?
They can go all the places until they hit another die.
That's right. Now show me side to side. Straight side to side. Good, good. Straight side to side. Excellent, excellent. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can capture a rook. You ready?
Yeah.
Who wants to go first? You or me?
Me.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you got me. Straight shot. Now it's my time. Oh, I got you. Straight shot. Okay. And that's the basic of the rook. Good job, good job. And now let's go on to the bishops. So these guys have the pointy top. Go ahead and put them on the second space in from the outside on your back line. So your bishops might look something like this. Right there and right there. All right, here are the rules of the bishops. They can also go as many spaces as they need to until they hit another guy. Now, bishops can go backwards as well as forwards, but they cannot go in a straight line. They have to go in a diagonal. So your bishop should be here and here, the second one in, okay? You have one bishop that will be on one color checker and one bishop that is on another color checker. So if one bishop is on black, the other bishop will be on white. So one will always stay on the black and the other one will always stay on the white and can only capture that way. All right, Tankie, are you ready to give this a try?
Yeah, I want to go first.
Okay, wait. Let's first practice. Show me what a diagonal is.
That.
That's right.
That.
Good. And show me with the other piece. What's a diagonal? Very good. Very good. Keep him on the opaque. This guy's an opaque, or what we'd consider the black on your checkerboard. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is going to be a little more tricky. You go first. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not correct. Try again. What can a bishop only do? Diagonal.
Diagonal.
So he is stuck on this path. The only way he can change directions is if he stops and then his next turn he goes a different path. Go ahead. Nope. Nope. It has to be a straight line. So the only thing he can do is on this line right here. Stop wherever you want to. It has to be on the clear here. Good job. Good job. Up, 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 nope, nope, nope. Okay, let's go over this a little bit more. Have a seat. Thank you. All right. So this is very important. Per turn, in one turn, you cannot go more than one direction with either the rook or the bishop. So if my rook wants to come here, I have to take 2 turns from here. 1 and then straight. 2 on my second turn. The same with a bishop. If I want to change directions, I first, pay attention, go 1, and then I have to wait for my next turn, and then I can change direction. You understand? Okay, so go ahead and try again. Stay on you can't go off that, so make that a straight line. Ready? Tell me when you want to stop.
Stop.
Okay, right there. Very good, very good. Nope, you have to wait for my turn. My turn. If you want to, no, you have to take your hand off the piece. Here is a fun rule about chess. Your turn is not over until your hand comes off the piece. So sometimes people are a real stickler about this. If your hand comes off the piece, you can't do any more. So you have to be aware of when your hand is on and off the piece. Okay?
Okay, remember that. When your hand is off the piece, you can't move. So that's when you put the X.
Okay. When your hand is off the piece, your turn is over. But your turn is not over until your hand is off the piece. Okay, Tankie, let's see. I think I am going to move this guy in a straight line on the diagonal, on a diagonal straight line to this side. What can you do? Now it's your turn.
Okay, I'll do that pass to that guy.
Okay, well, how are you going to do that?
Because.
You just got off your diagonal. You can't go off your diagonal. You have to stay on your diagonal. So the best you can do is here. There you go, nice and straight on your diagonal. All right, now we have a situation here where both of these pieces are on the diagonal from each other, so they are both in danger. So now it's my turn. I'm going to diagonally capture this piece. All right, now it's your turn. What can you do?
Okay. I'll move this guy, boom.
Diagonally does what? Okay, so you're here. There's only one thing you can do.
Go back.
Do you want to capture my piece? Go ahead. You're all set up. That's right. And Tankie just diagonally captured my piece. So that is what we do with a bishop. They are diagonal pieces that can go forward or backward, but only on a diagonal line. Okay, so if you have a piece on a black checker, you're going to stay on the black checkers. If you have a piece on the white checkers, you're going to only stay on the white checkers. Good job, Tankie. Good job. All right. Let's go into the next piece and that is the knights. One of the coolest pieces in chess, for sure.
I like my knight.
You're going to be right here. Good job, good job. So you might have knights that look something like this if they're black and white. Okay. Wow, they're beautiful, aren't they?
To the oh, he's very scary.
Ooh.
He's like a ghost.
Okay, now the knights are super cool because they have some rules that are above all the other ones. For example, if some piece is in the knight's way, the knight can actually jump over that piece, okay? But the knight is kind of tricky because you have to really know what the letter L looks like. Why? Because knights move in an L shape, okay? So they have to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And they can do 1, 2 first and then 1, 2, 3. Or they can do 1, 2, 3 this way and 1, 2. So let me show you a little bit closer what exactly this looks like. All right, so you can see the chess piece hopefully better from there. If you have a knight here, you can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and make the L this way. Or you can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, that way. Or you can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 this way. Or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So a knight can do any combination of 2 and 3 or 3 and 2. And they can also jump over a guy who's in their way. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's really cool. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This space counts, but he can go over him to get to the guy he's trying to get. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
They can go forward, they can go backward, but they have to go in an L shape. All right.
Okay.
Okay, you have any questions about that?
Okay. One question about nouns. They have to go like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
So they have to go in an L shape. So
Yeah.
one side is going to be 3 and the other side is going to be 2. And
It could be like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
You have to actually count each square. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so go ahead.
It's like
1, 2.
It's like 1, 2, 3.
1, 2.
1, 2.
Stop right there. That's as much as you can go with it now. Very good. Now it's my turn. Go ahead and leave him there. Good. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Now it's your turn.
I'll go 1,
1, 2, 3. That's 3. And then you count the one he's on. 1.
1.
Where's his 2? Is it going to be this one or this one?
2 is going to be this one.
Very good. Well, I'm after you. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Count the one he's on. Start with 1.
1.
Where do you want to go? 2, 3. You're at 3 now.
My next move is going to be right there.
Okay, that's fine.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2. So
1,
it's
2.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Oh, you're going to get him.
Oh, it's tricky though, trying to get it lined up with an L. Go ahead and move one of yours. 1.
1, 2.
So you have to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. How's that?
I'll jump
I
on.
can't get you. You're too close to me. You have to land on an L to get the person. So that's another thing. If you jump over someone, it's different than if you actually capture them. For me to capture with a knight, I have to be landing on him at the end of my L. So I can only get this guy if it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now I got you.
Ah.
But I didn't because that's too tricky. All right, good job. High five. Okay, so knights are kind of tricky when you're first learning because you have to remember to do your L and line up your L just right. But they can really come in handy, especially when you're trying to get the king and there's a lot of pieces in the way. Now let's go ahead and go to Her Majesty, the Queen. She might look like this or she might look like that.
She's pretty spiffy.
Yeah, she kind of looks like she has a flower on the top of her head sometimes.
Yep, like this one is kind of glass, so don't break this one. Queer.
Okay, good job, good job. Go ahead and get your queen out.
I got my
Put your queen right there. Good job. Now the queen is really cool because she is like a rook and a bishop combined. What we mean by that is she can go straight forward and back. Go ahead and say forward and back.
Forward and back.
Good. She can also go side to side.
Side to side.
Good. And she can also go diagonal back and forth.
Mine could do that too.
Absolutely. Go ahead and try your diagonal. So stay on one color and go straight on your diagonal. Good. Nice job. And then she can go back too. Excellent. But like with the other pieces, if you ever need to change direction, you need to stop and have your next turn. So go ahead and put her back. All right. So you get to go one direction each turn.
I'll go first.
Go ahead. Give it a try.
I'll go straight.
Okay.
And then diagonally.
Go ahead. Give it a try.
Straight.
Wait, stop. Now, if you want to go a different direction, you have to wait till your next turn.
Okay.
Stop. Put your hand off the piece. Good job. All right. Now I'm going to go diagonal. Your turn.
Okay. I'm so diagonal.
So diagonal would be on this right here.
Yeah, I want to go this way.
Sideways? Go ahead. Whoop, 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 whoop. So you were here and I was here. You have to stay on your line. You have to go sideways straight. So you'd end up right there.
Boom.
Good. Now, I can get you.
Oh, Mom, I will get you.
You want to get me? But I'm going to show a little bit more about how a queen works first. So she's going to go diagonal this way.
Oh, I'm going to get
Okay, one direction. Good, good. So you can land right here because you're on these clear ones. You don't got me yet. You don't got me wet. Not yet. Good sportsmanship means you follow the rules. Tankie, stop. Thank you. Hands off. That's as far as you can go on your turn. That's the fun part of the game. You have to be a little tricky. Now I'm going to do something that's not very smart. I'm going to stay in your way. I'm just going to move straight this way. Go ahead. And now you got me. There you go. Good job. All right, give it to me.
She was shot.
Oh,
She was dead.
she was captured. We use the word captured in chess. Okay, now let's do our last piece that we have not used yet, and that is our king. Okay, go ahead and get your king out. Put him right there. Now, we talked about the king being the most important piece, but he's also one of the most slow-moving pieces.
I know something. He trusts God.
Well, that's very cool about your king. Good.
I think he has a cross on his head.
Okay, put him right here. Good job. Okay. So a king, like a pawn, can only move one space at a time. But unlike a pawn, listen to the rules. A king can capture in any direction. A king can move in any direction, but only one space at a time. Okay? So each turn, we can only move him one space. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, but one thing I'll tell you about my king. My king is super old. Okay? I want to go first.
Okay, go ahead. One space. Now it's my turn. Get your hand out. Good.
My guy is very old.
Yes, you can think of him as very old. He can't move very fast. Get your hand out first. There you go. Okay, another thing is you cannot move your king into check. You always have, oh, what does check mean? Check means that in one move he can be captured. So I cannot move my king here. That is against the game of chess rules because he can get me. So in the game of chess, you can only move out of check if you are in check. So if ever a king is in check, the only option you have is to move out of check. Okay, that means you can be captured in the next move. If there is nowhere that you can move, it is called checkmate, and that means in the next game, the other person wins. Okay, so checkmate would look something like this. Here's Tankie's king, and he's surrounded on all sides by my pieces. He cannot move here because the queen will get him. He cannot move here. The rook will get him. He cannot move here. The queen will get him. He cannot move here. The other rook will get him. And if he stays here, any of my pieces can get him. This is called checkmate because in the next move, I will win. Okay?
I'm going to put my pieces around your pieces.
We will play with that after Mommy Academy, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's go on and keep practicing with our king. So I cannot move here because that will put me in check. So I'm going to have to move to the side. Your turn?
Okay, I'm going to move there and put you in check.
You can't, not with a king. A king can't put a king into check because he'll put himself into check. So we always have to stay one space apart. And if you have a game of chess where you got rid of every piece but two kings like this, it is called a stalemate, and both people win or both people lose, depending on how you want to look at it. Let's play a few more turns. Your turn? See how boring it is? It's just a matter of moving a piece around the board. Make sure you move it and bring your hand off. Thank you. Move it, bring your hand off. Move it, bring your hand off. Good. Move it, bring your hand off. And this is the way we play stalemate. Let's be done. All right. So let's go ahead and do a quick review as we set up our board. So let's first start with our 8 pawns. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5.
That's 4.
5, 6, 7, 7, 8.
Good job. So we have our 8 pawns on the second row. Now let's go for the next ones. We're going to grab our rooks with the flat tops or the castle tops and put them on the ends. Good.
1, 2.
Good. Bishops in from the rooks. There you go. Good. Knights in from the rooks.
Knights in from the rooks.
There you go. King and queen in the center.
King, queen in the center.
Good. And depending on what kind of chess you play, there's certain rules about how your king and queen are lined up or not. So make sure that when you're playing with someone, you talk about those kind of rules. Let's go over the pieces as we play a quick game. We're probably not going to finish this game, but the first move is you can move your pawn forward by 2, or
1.
Or you can move your knight out with an L. What would you like to do?
Move my pawn 1,
2. The first one is 2. Good. Now I'm going to jump over my pawn. 1, 2, 3.
The knight to do that.
That's right. I'm moving knight. That's very good. Remembering that rule, and I am moving my knight. So again, you count the space that the knight is on. 1, 2. You count the space that he jumps over, and then 3. And this is 1, 2. I made an L shape with my knight.
Okay.
Now it's your turn.
1.
Good, good. And hand up. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to move my pawn out by 2.
And my pawn out by 1.
Excellent. Good job. Good job. My pawn out by 2.
And I'm going to move my knight by 1.
3. And then you can either go here or here.
3.
Nice work. Now, Tankie, you are lined up in the next move to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and capturing my pawn here. Wait, it's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn. Hand up. I'm going to start moving my bishop out. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
You got him. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Right here.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Good, good. All right, I got my bishop out. He's on the move. He's going diagonally right here. Now it's your turn.
My pawn is on the move.
Very good.
My pawn's on the move.
He is. Okay, here comes my bishop. He's going to go diagonally, and he's coming after your king. So he's going straight in front of your king. All right, that's what you want to do. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of capturing my bishop, he moved his king. Now, your king is actually in no danger here because my bishop cannot go straight. Okay?
Oh.
That's right. So if you move here, what you just did is you lost your queen. All right? So here's, oh man, here's something you need to remember in chess. Before you move and before you take your hand off the piece, that you look at all of your options. So don't move too fast because there's often more than one way that you can move in the game of chess so you can win. All right, we're going to finish this game. I hope that that brought some value to you and your training. All right, little boy, let's cheer you up. Who's ready for his multivitamin? Yeah. How many vitamins are in here?
6.
Good, good. And how does it taste? But nothing makes up for losing a queen. Don't forget good sportsmanship, and the key to having fun is to say good game whether you win or lose. Just to enjoy and learn as much as you can. High five, Tankie. Please like, please share. We'd like to bring as much value to as many people as possible. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.